After the roof has been added, it's time to set up our elevation views. Our elevation views are the views from the outside of the house from the cardinal directions, north, south, east, and west. Those are already established in your project. If you remember from before, we've actually hidden them from view in our ground level floor plan, which that's the view that I'm on currently. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click the Reveal Hidden Elements light bulb, and you're going to see all the stuff that I've hidden. On any one of the elevation marks, right-click on it, unhide in view the category. That way when I turn that back off, those should come back. If they're not showing, you might also try, if your view is currently cropped, turning that crop view part back off. So you should have these four, and as you click on each one, you can either click on the square and move it around, probably might be likely. You kind of want them pointing about at the center of whatever the face is that they're facing. So obviously I could do a little bit of fine tuning. But the real part to click on is the triangle. When you click on the triangle, you're going to get what's called the cut line. If I place this cut line into my house, I will actually see the inside of my house right there at that plane. So I want to make sure that this is outside the house and including basically just the house. So I can actually click that line and pull those lines in. It'll make my view a little bit tighter. As I do the one down here, please remember I should see this wall back here. So I don't want to pull this all the way to here. Okay, I can kind of pull it so I'm sure that I get that edge. Same thing over here. I'm going to tuck it in a little bit, but I'm going to want to make sure that I still see that section and put it right next to it. Here, we'll pull in a little bit. This is almost kind of sort of like crop view, but not necessarily exactly cropped view. And I'm going to end with my east side one. Make sure the line is close. And it doesn't want to give me the endpoints on this one, so we're just going to leave that one alone. I believe that actually has to do with the fact that in order to speed this video up, I've already set up my north, south, east, and west ones. So if there's any lines where it won't let you kind of bring those in, if you go to the elevation itself and make sure that cropping the view is turned on, which I just did, when I go back to ground level now and click on that, I should have the endpoints, which you can see that I do have. So that allows me to kind of bring that in. So those are directly related. So I'm going to bring those in so that they're exactly where I need to have them. Okay, so just so that I have this view exactly the way I need it for my other drawings, I'm going to turn crop view back on. I'm also going to hide these in view so that I don't see them. Okay, you can do that later or you could do that now. You're going to then have to open up each elevation. And when you open each elevation, you have a few things to do. First off, you're probably going to still see your model lines from your setback lines. You're going to need to hide that category in view. You're also going to want to have these elevation markers. You're also going to want to hide that category in the view. Now here, you might see some errors on your side. For example, I have this one outlet now that for whatever reason, this ground fault circuit interrupter outlet is 4 feet in the air. Might have accidentally changed it with a different group, so I'm going to put it at 18 inches or 1.5 feet, which is what the rest of them are set at. So that now looks like the rest. You'll also notice I have this thing sticking down out the bottom. When I did my electrical plan, I enlarged my panel, but still left the top of it only 4 feet off the ground. If I come back and change that to 6 feet off the ground, that panel is going to tuck back up in the house and be a little bit more accurate as to how tall it is and not sticking down through the floor. So you might make some minor changes with that. Depending on the floor types you used, you might have an uneven floor line, which is okay. We're not going to take any points off for that. So this is what each elevation should look like when you're ready for that elevation to be placed on the elevation sheet. As I said, to speed up the demo, I've already done the other one. So I'm going to go ahead and close this and go down to Sheets, right-click, New Sheet, D-size paper, should be D4, and these are going to be our elevations. I'm going to go ahead and name that now. On the sheet, I'm going to put all 4 elevations. I'm going to actually put them in a particular places. So as I pull on the north elevation, I want to put that near the top. Now, as you can see, that's really too small. I've found that about half the scale of your house works pretty well for your elevations. So that would get us to it was at one, we were at quarter of to a foot for our all of our floor plans. We're going to try the 1/8 to a foot. We might be able to get closer. Now I am going to go ahead and make sure I get that title not showing. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and try it. Let's try and match our yeah, something tells me those are just going to be a little too big. You'll notice I actually have a little bit of an issue with my cropping, so I'm going to have to go back and fix that on my north view. Yep, show my crop region, pull this out a little bit, hide my crop region, and go back. You might have to make similar adjustments. Putting that near the top. All right, let's see how my east and west come in. So I'm going to pull my east one in and go closest to the title block. Again, I'm going to want to try to match all of these in size. So we'll go to quarter to a foot. We'll go to no title. And we'll bring this back in. Yeah, there's no way these are all going to fit. So I was right before at about half the scale of the flat floor plans. This is actually going to give you a nice look. You want to make sure that all of them are the same, because if all of them are not the same, you won't have this showing the actual scale. So I'm going to put the north elevation right up there, east elevation there, west elevation next to it, click, no title, 1/8 to a foot. Kind of put that where it's supposed to be. Finish up with the south elevation. Again, no title. Match the scale. Kind of set this up like points on the compass. Now, since we always like to have our scales start with a 1, I would recommend this 1/8 inch to a foot is going to be about the right scale for everybody for this project. Could you go in there and mess with that? Yeah, you probably could, but I would recommend against it. So go ahead and use that 1/8 inch to a foot scale to get you these, to get all your elevations showing. This is the way your elevation sheet should look prior to printing it. Well, almost. Do fill out your author and your project name, remembering that that project name is the address of your house lot.